More #1 albums in this country than any other artist in history. On top of that, Jimmy Barnes is also a published author. His two biographies, Working Class Boy and Working Class Man, both award-winning bestsellers. And now Jim is releasing his 6th book filled with cracking yarns of a life well lived. It's called Highways and Byways, Tall Tales and Short Stories from the Long Way Round. And I'm delighted to say Jim joins us from his wonderful home in the Southern Highlands of New South Wales. Jimmy Barnes, good morning, son. How you doing?
Very good, mate. Nice to see you, Richard.
Good to see you. Jim, this is a great read. Congratulations. Wonderful stories told in bite-sized chunks. I suspect these words just tumbled onto the page, yeah?
Yeah, there was a few that tumbled on, and a few that I had to think about carefully because, you know, the thing with this book is, Richard, that it's fiction and non-fiction, and some of the non-fiction stories are really close to the bone, but some of the fiction stories have a bit of a hit. You know, they've got a lot of truth in them as well. So I had to be sort of careful what I wrote. And I think, you know, having the benefit of being able to write both fiction and non-fiction in the same book allows me a lot of freedom. You know, not to sort of incriminate people, but to tell the whole story without sort of, you know, letting too much out of the bag.
I want to know who the international superstar is, but look, you talk about losing your Cold Chisel bandmate Steve Prestwich. You talk about travelling to Texas and Glasgow, getting multiple speeding tickets, family health, the vagaries. I mean, you cover a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah, well, you know, it was sort of short story. I love the idea of writing short stories.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, you know, I started writing short stories as a sort of stepping stone towards writing a novel, which I'm still writing at the moment, actually, by the way. And I just really enjoyed the process. And I like, you know, as a reader, I love reading short stories. You know, you can pick them up on a plane and, you know, you don't have to sort of, you know, you're not hanging out till you get home to bed that night to finish your chapter. You know, you can finish a story, you know, pretty well on the plane or whatever.
That's right.
So I love that. I love doing it. A lot of this book I actually wrote in recovery from, you know, when obviously, you know, there's a fair bit of press about my health at the end of last year, and I was in hospital for a long time with, you know, heart problems and all sorts of things that I got fixed. So this, you know, I was sitting there and I was trapped in a hospital bed and I couldn't go anywhere. And I'm so used to traveling that I just decided I was going to be traveling in my head. And so I just sat with my computer and relived, and we went through stories of, you know, things that I've done in the past.
Yeah, well, it seems every time you go to hospital, we get a new book out of you, which is kind
well,
of.
You know, I'd like to try and write a book without going to hospital, so that'd be nice. That'd be the next challenge.
Hey, Jim, if there's one common thread that shines through, it's your good wife, Jane. Mate, you'd be pretty stuffed without her, I'd like to suggest.
Well, she's an amazing woman. We've been together since 1979. I think I know exactly. We met at 4 o'clock in the afternoon in November 26, 1979. We've been through, you know, hell and high water together. I love Jane dearly, and we just have a great time together. We like each other, which is a really great
It's
thing.
a great love story. It's wonderful to see you together. Hey, we claim you, of course, as a much-loved Aussie, but you're also a proud Scot, and that shines through in this book also. But you must be enormously proud of the life that you've carved out for yourself and your family here, you know, on the other side of the world.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, it's funny because as I grew up, you know, I always considered myself, and you know, especially growing up in a band as a you know, diehard Aussie. But it was funny when I went back to Scotland. There was I felt this connection to the place that, you know, I guess that only happens with your birth rates and all that sort of stuff. I went there and I felt like a really tight connection with Scotland. So every time I go back, I like to go back there and you know, explore my roots and all that sort of stuff. But my heart is well and truly entrenched here. Yeah. You know, this is it's great to be, you know, I'm very proud of being Scottish, but I'm you know, supremely proud of being Australian and coming from living in you know, the Elizabeth, where it was a tough upbringing. My parents struggled to raising a family myself and being able to, realize my dream singing in a band and playing. You know, I'm touring with Cold Chisel at the moment. It's just unbelievable.
Speaking of which,
to come from that and do that is amazing. You know?
Yeah, it is. Speaking of which, it would be remiss finally if I didn't congratulate you and the band on the success of the Big 5-0 Chisels tour. You guys, you are singing and the band is playing better than ever, and I must have heard you 1,000 times. Please explain.
You know what? We're just so happy to be doing it. You know, when we came up for the 50th anniversary, was a bit too informing what we're going to do. But once we decided to do a tour, at that point we decided that we didn't want to just do a tour. We wanted to do the best tour we've ever done. So we really are all focused, on getting the communication, the rehearsal time, the production right. I've never seen Cold Chisels smile so much on stage as they have this tour. I get up there and I look behind the piano, and Don's just smiling at me, just enjoying himself, and we're playing songs that mean a lot to us. They're the songs that we've sang for 50 years. But to hear anybody that's come to any of our shows, the crowd is singing louder than any crowd I've ever heard in my life. I mean, we were playing at the Big Tent in the entertainment quarter, and they sort of try to limit the volume for the neighbors around there. They have a dB limit of about 104 decibels. Our crowd were singing by themselves at 119 dB. It was deafening, and it was so much fun. It was like a party, a big sing song. So we're really having the best time. The band's all playing great, and it sort of fills my heart to be singing with my brothers after 50 years.
I bet it does, and the fans singing all the way home too. Jimmy's book, Highways and Byways, is available now, perfectly timed for Christmas. Don't know if you noticed that, Jim. Meantime, Cold Chisels' 50th anniversary tour is pretty much sold out. If you see a ticket, steal it. Jimmy, thank you for your time this morning, man. Good luck with the book.
Nice to talk to you, Richard. Always, you know that.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Do you know when we were kids growing up, Jimmy Barnes, he is our lives.
Yeah.
Right? So Mum was a terrible maker of gravy. The lumps in it.
Not
and everything.
anymore.
So Jimmy's songs would work their way into our family life.
Yeah.
And so he did this terrific duet with John Farnham a few years ago, and my brother and I would sing every roast dinner. When something is wrong with Mum's gravy.
Gravy's my specialty now, by the way.
I love that.
Paul Kelly does a good one too.
You
Yeah,
speak
he
to
does.
us.
Me and Posh is at a restaurant.
Yeah. I'll come.
You speak to Australians in so many ways,
Bring your
Barnsley.
mum, would you?
Oh no, she'll be there. Yeah.
You won't get rid of her.
No, that's okay. We're fine with that.
Morning, Jenny. Thank you very much, Barnsley. Well done to you, Dickie, too. Lovely chat. He's just the best.
The
He's
best.
the best. We love him.
Hey there, Today fans. Sarah and
What's my name again?
Carl.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel, though. Subscribe now for more news, special reports, and amazing Aussie stories.
And Carl misbehaving,
Whoa,
of course.
that never happens.
Always happens.
What's she talking about?